Good morning. Thank you for joining me for Children's Time. You might remember from last week that we're now in the season of Lent, before Easter. And Lent is a time where we think a lot about how Jesus wants us to act and behave and that sort of thing. And Jesus wants us to follow his lead. Jesus wants us to follow his example. And the good news is, there are lots of stories about Jesus, stories where Jesus told people about what he wants us to do and how he wants us to act, and he told many, many interesting stories, so we don't have to guess, we sort of know. And in Lent, we're going to hear stories about people doing things, sometimes simple little things, sometimes things are very dramatic or bold. They give us examples about what we can do to follow Jesus. But first, let's start with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, now and forever. Amen. Now, in today's story, a story that's sometimes called the widow's mite, we're going to hear a story about a woman who was very, very poor. She had very, very little to offer. But what she did give, which seemed small and worthless, turned out to be quite a lot. And it's a great example of the kind of thing Jesus wants us to do to make a difference in God's eyes. So let's dive in. One day, Jesus was in the temple. Some of his disciples were there too. Jesus sat near the offering box. He and his disciples watched people walk by it. People dropped money into the box as they came into the temple. Back then, there was no paper money, only coins. The coins made a noise when they were dropped into the box. Plunk went the little coins, clank went the big coins. Everyone heard the noise the coins made. Then a rich man walked into the temple and put some big coins in the offering box. Clunk, clunk, clunk. The rich man smiled. He was glad his money made so much noise, and everyone could hear how much he gave. Jesus saw many people come and go. They all put money in the offering box. Big coins, small coins, loud clunks and soft plunks. Many people did not give their money because they love God. They gave it to show off and make other people think they were important. Then a very poor woman came into the temple. Her husband had died, so she was a widow. She dropped 2 small coins into the box. Plunk, plunk. She knew it did not sound like much money, but she loved God, so she gave him all the money she had. And Jesus told his disciples, "Many rich people have come here," he said. "They have put in a little of their money, but this woman gave God her best. She gave him everything she had." Quite a story, right? So, of course, what Jesus is trying to show us is that it's not showing off for others. It's what you mean that's important. So even though the widow just had 2 tiny little coins, that was all she had, and she gave it to God. So here's what we should think about this week. We should think about what we can do to be kind to other people and to be nice to other people, and even teeny tiny things that we can do to make a difference in other people's lives. Could you think of what some of those things might be? I bet you can. Of course, something as simple as giving somebody a compliment or saying something nice to somebody, talking to somebody maybe when they don't feel so great, or I don't know, maybe if you see somebody who has a lot of work or very difficult work and asking if you can help, all of those things count as kind things that we do for other people. And when you help others, you're doing the work that Jesus gave us to do, which is awesome. So, we're going to close with a prayer. Dear God, in this season of Lent, we thank you for sending us your Son Jesus to teach us all the gifts we make in your name are equally important. And we thank you for the stories that help us to learn and to follow. Amen. Of course, there are, down in the description, there is a link to activities that you can all do together. And we're going to do our best to think about what we can do for the other people around us. All Lent. Bye.